Hello to all my dear students. Today we are going to start our class 8 civics first chapter, that is the constitution and the need for law. And in this chapter we will talk about what is constitution is important and why there was a need for law. As all society are bound by laws and rules, and these rules helps to bring about order in the human life. When a group of people live together in a society, then there will be a difference of opinion on the various issues, and it is better that this issue must be resolved or being brought under control peacefully so that our country can work or it can run in a peaceful manner. So for this reason, rules are being invented in order to bring control or to resolve the conflict in a peaceful manner. So that you can say that our constitution has helped a lot in bringing a control or to resolve the conflict so that our country is running peacefully. So first of all, we will understand about the meaning of constitution. So what is a constitution? A constitution is a set of rules, laws and principles according to which a country is governed. That means country is bound by certain rules and law given by the constitution. That is, country is governed by constitutional principle and law are being implemented according to it. Thus, the constitution is also known as the fundamental law of a country. And our constitution was drafted by Constitution Assembly, and Indian constitution was effected from 26 January 1950. And 26 January, as we all celebrate as a Republic Day. Children, you all know that one. Now, let us understand about the Indian constitution and its importance. So, do you all know that, children, that our Indian constitution is the lengthiest constitution in the world, and our constitution is also known as the borrowed constitution. Why it is called as a borrowed constitution? As because our constitution has borrowed many other things from other country constitution. So, for that reason, we call it as a borrowed constitution. Indian constitution defined the powers of the legislature both on the level of the central and state as well as with the part of the executive and judiciary also it defined. It also provides valuable informations about the structure and different organs of the government and the duties of the government. Indian constitution also regulates the relationship between various organs of the government as well as it also regulates the relationship between citizen and government. Indian constitution even check up the power of the government. So that why it take up the power of the government? As because it should not be misused by the government, the power which has been given to the government. For that reason, constitution check up the power of the government. Indian constitution also explain the fundamental duties and fundamental rights of the citizen. Our constitution also contain special provisions for safeguarding the interest of the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes and that of the minority section of the society. Why? As because this section are the lowest class in the society, and the majority of the people in the society can harass them or they can be oppressed by the majority section of the society. So for that reason, our constitution has provided certain special provision for this section. So this is all about the constitution and is important. Now we will move on to need for law. Now out here we are going to discuss about why there is a need for law. Is it possible to run the country without laws and rules? In a simple way, if you will say, it is difficult to run a country without rules and law, as everyone want their power to show if there is no rules and law. And even everyone will not respect other religions, nor even their other cultures. And when they will not respect other religion, other culture, and when everyone will show their power, then what will happen? There will be a various issue in the country, various conflict will arise. So like every game has its own rules, likewise our country is also bound by a set of rules. As if there would be no rules, then what will happen? If there will be no rules and regulation, there would be a problem in the country. So in our life too, we must be governed by a set of rules and regulation, so that we should adjust within a framework. In India, at the time of independence, there were several customs and practices was going on, and that has caused great suffering to certain segment of the society. Practices like untouchability, dowry system was there, alcoholism was there, female foeticide was there. This was all the practice which was going on, and for all these practices there was a need of law was necessary to remove all these practices. Now we will talk about dowry. As you all know, what is dowry? Dowry is the money or gift given to the groom and his family by the bride family at the time of marriage, and this dowry demand continue for a long period after marriage also. In case if bride family been fail to fulfill the demand of the groom family, then what will happen? It will result in physical and mental torture of the bride, and it goes to an extreme that it lead to death of the bride. So for that, this practice, to remove this practice, the government has passed the Dowry Prohibition Act in 1961. And this act, that means according to this act, the giving and taking of dowry was being prohibited. That means if anyone is giving or taking dowry, that both will be imprisoned and will charged with certain fine. Now we will talk about female foeticide. So what is female foeticides? Killing of unborn child, that is killing of unborn girl child, is called female foeticide. Girl child was used to consider a burden to the parents. Even today also, daughters are considered a financial burden. So this practice of female foeticide, that is killing of unborn girl child, has affected the Indian sex ratio. As in 2011, the number of female declined in the age group of 0 to 6. If we will see the census of 2011, out there we will see that there was 919 female per 1000 male in the age group of 0 to 6. Whereas in 2001 there was 927 female per 1000 male. Now to curb this practice, that is to remove the female foeticide, government has passed an act, and the name of the act was Prenatal Diagnostic Technique Act, that is PNDT Act in 1994, and it was been brought into effect from 1st January 1996. This PNDT Act has prohibited the disclosure of the sex of the foetus. So this is all about today's class. That means we have read about what is constitutions, its importance, why there was a need of law, and some evil practices like dowry and female foeticides we have discussed. So till then, take care. Thank you.